take wins of all kinds, any kinds. So just unmute and tell us the good news if you got any. We're not winning coming off of Thanksgiving, it sounds like.
I got a little bit of win.
No, we're winning. I think people are just a little shy. Malcolm, are you winning, buddy?
Winning.
How are you winning?
Well, my main win is I actually got work. I'm having work booked. If that makes sense, rather than hunting. You know, it's just stuff. But I don't have a whole lot. I'm not gonna say you got everything, but I got stuff to look forward to. So that's a good thing.
That's really good.
Yes, he was telling me today how he is actually, getting leads from Google, which is one of the first times that that's happened. So more to come, more to come.
Dennis, are you winning, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I finally got, I hired a really good office administrator part-time initially. And so it's already been a huge impact right away.
That's huge. That's awesome, man.
That is so exciting. That's such a big step. So
yes.
Way to
we're
go.
actually in a couple weeks, not next week, but the week after, we're going to be talking about the office manager position, how to manage it, how important it is. Big step. But like you said, it's such a relief. So
yes.
So glad to hear it. Anybody else?
Fabio, are you winning, buddy?
Fabio!
What's up, man? How you doing? How
I'm
you guys
doing good. How are you winning, my friend?
We are winning everywhere. So, like,
That's awesome.
everything has been changed. Everything happening at once. A lot of jobs coming in. Finally got free time to work at the office. Family been great, so no complaint at all. Winning. That's all.
Awesome, buddy. I love it, man. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for letting me put you on the spot.
Of course, always, my friend.
Always. You hear that? Okay, we'll hold you to that.
No worries.
Okay. Well, I've got a win to share from one of my clients. Can everyone see my screen here of Roger?
You're good.
So this happy man, his name is Roger.
That's not a real plumber. He's too good looking. I'm sorry.
Whoa, easy there, buddy. You are married with children, my friend. Be careful. Anyway, so yeah, Roger, Rudy thinks he's the best looking plumber in the nation. And Roger's had a little bit, he runs a plumbing company in Austin, Texas. When we first started with him, I remember I was talking to him on the phone and he said, I've been in this business. He's been in the trade for 30 years. He's like, I've been running my own business for 14 years. I've never been able to get past 2 trucks. He's running 5 trucks now. He's wanting to get a 6th. He's just looking for the right guy. We've implemented some great hiring strategies for him that are really starting to work. But Roger had a tough year. And the way that Roger had a tough year is the first thing that he was dealing with at the beginning of the year is $1 million lawsuit is something that he was dealing with. Basically what had happened was his crew, this was actually back in, I think in the summer of 2020, his crew was called out to fix a leak, okay? A leak inside someone's walls. And so they fixed the leak. A few days later, I think it was 2 days later, they got a call from the same customer, and she was an attorney. So she was looking for someone to go after her, but she said that water's leaked all over her house, that there's black mold everywhere, and that she's suing him. Like, this happened right after they did the work. Now, come to find out, as the story began to play out, the house is 60 years old. The black mold was all over the house, even outside the leak. So the leak was pre-existing. And furthermore, his plumbing team was called out to fix a leak, meaning that water was leaking before they even got there. But she just wanted to pin it all on someone. He spent over a year in depositions with his insurance team, with their insurance team. They tried to settle for $300,000. And she said, no, I want to take this to court. So that was the first issue that he was dealing with. And the second issue that he was dealing with was he had his main right-hand woman. She was the manager of his operations. Was actually, he came to find out just by happenstance, and this is someone he trusted, worked for him for 12 years, was very tight-knit with him, had seen the company grow, was hired on at the beginning, found out that over the past year, she had embezzled $50,000 from the organization. So there's all sorts of feelings of betrayal. There's that lost money that was affecting his profits. There's feelings of distrust. And so Roger had a tough year. But luckily, his year is ending much better than how it started and how it went. What I mean by that in the context of wins is the lawsuit, the judge ended up dropping it entirely because there wasn't enough substantive evidence to support that this had anything to do with Roger. So that was the first major win, is that the lawsuit was dropped. All this thing that he worried about and that he was concerned about, it cost him $0. Next thing that happened is despite this employee stealing from him, he now has the best office team he's ever had before. One other team member stepped up in an incredible way, a way he would never expect. It allowed him to hire a new person who is just doing a phenomenal job. That new person is now bringing another new person that is also a phenomenal candidate. And so kind of the lesson here is maybe this year you didn't accomplish all of your goals that you wanted to. We can get stuck into a real what's called like a gap level of thinking. It's like, I missed the mark. I am bad. I didn't achieve what I wanted. But there's another way to look at this past year through a gain. What did you gain type of thinking, where you say, hey, although we may have not hit where we wanted to hit, what are all the good things that did happen? What are the things that happened that we may have not even expected that ended up being a huge victory for our business? The powerful thing in that is that when you switch to a gain level of thinking, despite maybe not hitting the goal or target you want to achieve, that begins to not only create better emotions of happiness, of satisfaction, but it also creates motivation to continue going after your goals or to continue going after new goals. When you look at the gain type of thinking, oh man, look at what we didn't hit. Look at how we lost. Look at how we didn't get there. It actually causes that motivation to decrease and decreases your chances of hitting goals in the future. So it's all about the lens by which you look at things. Roger could have looked at this through a real negative lens as a tough year, but he's looking at it through a real positive lens. Look at all these victories we ended up having.
Wow, that was all right. We'll talk next week, right?
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. We're going to do breakout room. No, I'm just kidding. I do love Rudy. He's one of my favorite people. All of our team members are one of my favorite people, by the way.
Right.
I love each of our team members equally, but I love Rudy's hype, always hyping me up. I appreciate that. So, hey, in case not everyone knows me, I'm not on every single group call every week. It's great to be with you guys. My name is Robert Redmond. Tim is the father of me. Instead of saying I'm Tim's son, I say Tim is the father of me. And I am a minority owner in Redmond Growth. I run daily operations and get to work with this awesome group of people that teaches me, that helps me grow. They're called your coaches. And so I'm really excited that I get to share here today. What's on the agenda for today is I want to talk about this concept called creating a cadence. Creating a cadence. We thought about having one of our team members named Caden actually present on creating a cadence, but he's in sales, not in coaching, so that didn't work out. But we're going to talk about creating a cadence. And then I thought I actually edited this, the breakout rooms, and do it now time. I guess I did it. In the breakout rooms, your coaches are going to help you identify maybe some areas where you can build a cadence in your business, but really see closely how you can create a cadence and where to start creating a cadence right now. And so creating a cadence, what I want to share here, guys, this is more of a high level business concept, okay? This is really a framework for thinking. And something I would ask everyone to do, if you're not doing it already, is to take notes on what we cover here today. Pay attention. If you end up wanting the recording of it, ask your coach for the recording. We can give anyone the recording of the group coaching calls anytime. Take notes, listen in, and then maybe actually discuss this later with high level members on your team, maybe your partners, maybe if your spouse is involved with your business. Talk about this concept with them and let it really sink in deep, because it's one of those concepts that has the power to transform the way you think about your business and to really build a business to do what we at Redmond Growth really wanted to do, to really serve you, to really become highly profitable without being highly reliant on you, providing you true freedom. We are going to have practical application of this concept. So hang with me. This isn't just concept teaching business, theorizing in a classroom in a textbook style format. There's going to be practical application. That's what the breakout rooms are for. But more importantly, this concept that we're going to teach, it's not something that you just do once. It's a new way of thinking and looking at your business. It's something to keep on doing. And the more that you keep on doing it, the more freedom that you're going to have, the more predictability that you're going to have in your business, and the more consistent revenue growth and profit growth you're going to see in your business. And so let's get into it, creating a cadence. So whenever we hear a cadence, when I first heard that term, I remember my dad, Tim, was the one who kind of introduced this concept to me. And I didn't really know what a cadence was, and how it applied to business. When I heard cadence, I would think of like a drill sergeant, counting a cadence when he's marching with his team. Left, right, sound off. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was like the first concept of cadence for me. And then I played a lot of football, and my favorite team is the Green Bay Packers. Big time Aaron Rodgers fan. I know we are not doing so well this season. No one needs to tell me. It's painful enough. I'm watching it happen. But in football, a quarterback gives a cadence before they hike the ball. Blue 42, set, hut. We call that a cadence. And so those are the ways that I typically heard about cadence. But what is a cadence really? Well, when you look at just the standard kind of textbook definition of a cadence, it is the beat, the time, or the measure of rhythmical motion or activity. Going back to the quarterback example, going back to the drill sergeant example, it's the beat, it's the time, it's the measure. 1, 2, left, right, everyone's in the same step. We're all moving together at once, right? The drill sergeants counted the cadence. Cadence in business, and this is more of a textbook definition. I'm going to break this down, but it's the frequency, it's the format, it's the sequence that a manager uses to run and manage their people and departments. The frequency, the format, the sequence. What sequence am I using as someone who's managing my business to run our people and departments? In plain speak, how I think of a cadence and how it can really apply for us small business owners is it's a series of documented systems that you use to run your business and set meeting times to check in on the performance of those systems using key performance indicators. So a cadence is just, it's a rhythm, it's a motion. We have the systems, we have the meeting times, and then we're checking in on the performance of those systems. Whenever you create a cadence, that's when you really begin to create freedom in your business. I got an illustration I want to share with you in just a moment. But if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel overworked, if you feel disorganized, is that anyone? You feel like you're constantly responding to burning fires throughout the day? You know, you feel like every time one thing is fixed, yeah, Dennis is raising his hand. I don't know if Malcolm, but it's like, man, I feel overworked. I feel like it's all on me. If you're feeling that way, it's time to look at your cadence. And whenever you're feeling that way in the future, even if you solve the problems that you're facing right now, whenever you begin to feel overwhelmed, overworked, disorganized, I am constantly responding to burning fires, it's time to look at your cadence. What a cadence does is it moves your business from a business that's dependent upon you to a business that's dependent upon systems. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about creating a business. This is what a cadence does. Creating a business that's no longer dependent upon you to a business that's dependent upon systems. And listen, guys, I don't care how big your business is. I don't care how small your business is. I don't care what you specialize in, how technical it may be. You can create a cadence in your business. Every single business owner can do this. It's just moving from that belief of, you know, only I can do this, or the business is dependent upon me and it's going to be forever dependent upon me, to, you know what, let me increase my creative capacity and figure out how to build a business that's dependent upon systems. Why is this important? People can come and go. People can leave. People can come. People can leave, come and go. But it's the systems that remain. And it's those systems that remain that allow you to build the consistency and freedom that we're talking about here. The only thing, my last point on this slide, the only thing that separates your business from a growing and profitable one, the only thing is having the right systems and the right management of those systems. That's what's creating a business, or that's what's creating a cadence is all about. And I want to give you guys a quick example of this. Anyone see this movie? The Founder? Bobby, you've seen it? Are you a fan of The Founder, Bobby? What'd you think of it? We got a thumbs up. Anyone else? Yav has seen it. Okay. So let's talk about Ray Kroc. So in this movie, in case you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend to go see The Founder. If you're in business and you haven't seen this movie, you're going to love this movie. So Michael Keaton plays the role of a guy named Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc was not the man. You see the McDonald's arches in the background of this? Ray Kroc was not the man who invented McDonald's. He's just the guy who made it what it is today. So I encourage you to watch the movie. It's, I don't know, maybe 2 hours long. It goes into detail of the story. It's really well done. But the story in short is this, is the founders of McDonald's, Richard and Maurice McDonald, who we don't know those names, but we know Ray Kroc. So the founders of McDonald's, Richard and Maurice McDonald, they made the best burgers in Illinois. And the way that they did that is that they had a highly effective system. Their system focused on like having a limited menu instead of having this like gargantuan menu. They had a limited menu. They focused on the food quality and consistency, and then they really focused on delivering quick service. Well, Ray Kroc, who's this guy who wasn't really a success. I mean, I think he was in his like mid 40s or early 50s, just trial and error, trying to sell door to door, wasn't working out, trying to do his own thing, wasn't working out. He saw what these guys were doing, and he got an idea. He said, you know what? I can build a system around this and scale this out in other cities and other communities to deliver the same high quality service, to deliver the same consistent food taste. We probably don't think of McDonald's as like high quality food, but like consistent quality, we will typically like it when we eat it. But then also stay with the limited menu. I think I can take this and expand it. And in the movie, the McDonald's brothers, Richard and Maurice, are like, no, you can't do it. You can only do it here. But he said, I think this needs the right cadence. So what Ray Kroc did is he actually founded the McDonald's system. It later became the McDonald's Corporation. What we know as a McDonald's Corporation today, this huge organization, it was originally literally called, the business was called the McDonald's system, because it was all about this concept. And they applied this to a burger joint. Like what you thought was the simplest thing, they applied this concept, and now we know McDonald's what it is today. And Ray Kroc had a goal. He said that I want burgers and fries to taste the exact same way in Alaska as they do in Alabama. Ray Kroc obsessed about McDonald's franchise owners adhering to the system, knowing every part of the system. He looked at every detail of the system, and he built a restaurant system that's laser focused on consistent high quality and creating food methodically. And he was such a believer in this. In 1961, he actually opened up something called a Hamburger University, which literally required every single McDonald's new franchise owner, you had to go through Hamburger University. And so we think of that as like, whoa, that's a big success story, and that applies for McDonald's, but how does it apply for me? You can begin to look at your business in the same way that Ray Kroc did, to maybe even think about looking at your business and trying to build it like a franchise. The only thing that separates your business from one that is, like we said earlier, highly profitable and growing, one that is like a franchise, is the right system and the right management of those systems. Maybe you can learn from the story of Ray Kroc and apply that same obsession to your business to consistently grow, to consistently deliver that quality with whatever service you might be offering right now. Can you bring the Ray Kroc factor in your business? And so last thing I want to cover here is, how do I create a cadence? Okay. By the way, before we move on, any questions that we've covered so far? Anything else? Just because I don't want to keep on. We're doing good. Any questions? We're getting the concept here. Awesome. So last question is this. How do I create a cadence? What do I need to do? Okay. The breakout rooms, we're going to cover this more specifically. Each of your coaches are very well trained in this process. In fact, the way our team thinks is like they can't help but think about business in terms of like what I'm talking about here. Like that's how they approach solving business challenges. So you're in good hands. And this is really what we're after at Redmond Growth, is doing this to your business, is creating a cadence. So how do you create a cadence? Number one, you have to have documented systems and processes. If you've ever been to a McDonald's, you'll see that they have checklists all over the place. They'll have how to do stuff all over the place. It's a business that's very documented and systematic. How do you create documented systems and processes? Guys, I'm telling you, this is easier than you think. It requires thinking. It requires slowing down. It requires taking time outside your business to actually get this stuff together. But you can even use your coaching meeting to develop this stuff. Like, this is what our team loves doing. The way that you create documented systems and processes is you literally start with writing down the processes in a document, checklist, or software format. How many of you guys know how to run most aspects of your business? I hope we see a lot of hands. Do the owners know how to run? Did everyone hear me okay? Is this thing on? Testing 1, 2, 3. How many people know how to run most aspects of their business? Raise your hand, please. Yeah, okay. We know how to do that because you guys created your business. You did this thing called you invented something out of nothing and you made it profitable. That's what a business is. And so literally, if there's any area of business where you're feeling like only I can do this, challenge yourself to say, well, what do I do that allows me to do this? Like what is each step that I take? What is each thing that I think about? What's each thing that I tell the customer? What's each thing that I tell our vendor, our team, whatever it may be? Just write it down, the process that you know, in a document and a checklist in a software format. This principle is applicable for every department of your business. It can be accounting, it can be your service delivery and your operations, it can be your sales. Just know that documented systems is applicable for every department in your business. You've got to have a method that's documented to handle everything in your business. Okay. The next thing that you need to create a cadence is just reporting on those systems and processes, KPIs. Like this word KPIs is like a buzzword. It's like, we hear that a lot in business culture. We read that a lot in business books. You got to know your KPIs. All KPIs are just like data points that tell you how your business is reporting in different areas of your business. And you can develop KPIs for any area of your business. It's not just a marketing thing. It's not just a sales thing. It's any area of your business. You can develop KPIs. And all that is you're measuring the outcomes that you want. What are the data points that measure the outcomes that you want? It's how you measure just what's working and what's not working in every department of your business. I don't care what it is. How do you measure what's working in that department? How do you know that department's going well? It's a KPI. So we have the documented process and system. It's just the list of things that you know how to do, put in a format that other people can see and read and consume. That's what a system is. That's all it is. The next thing is how do we measure whether or not we're actually running the system right? Okay, how do we measure what's working and what's not? Last thing I put here is make decisions based on data, keep score. For whatever reason, most small business owners are like myself in that we can get reactive and make decisions based upon feelings. You got to look out for that. You got to be careful of that. Make decisions based on data. Okay, that's going to challenge you in a good way to take a closer look at your business, to really see what's happening. And then that will tell you, when you really see what's happening, okay, here's what decisions may need to be made to improve this. The last thing is that you've got to have a consistent meeting structure to review performance and make adjustments. Here's the concept here. People drift. Okay, we drift. We have stuff going on in our lives. We have vacations to do. People get sick. We have, motivation. We don't have motivation. People drift. What doesn't drift is a set time that's in everyone's calendar. If you set that as a recurring invite, that doesn't drift. That stays there unless you delete it. Okay, but that does not drift. So how do you create a cadence? This could be for your sales process. This could be for your operations. It could be for your hiring. It could be for your marketing activities. It could be for your training and onboarding of employees. How do you create a cadence? You document the system. Step one, people got to know how to do the thing. The way that they know how to do the thing is if a system is documented. And I don't care how complex it is. Maybe you need to hire someone who's more skilled or more intelligent. But if you document the thing as the owner, that means other people can do what you did because it's documented. They know what you're doing. Next thing is we've got to have reporting. How do we know it's working? How do we know it's not? Then the last thing is you can't just use any one part of this for a cadence to work. You have to use all three. Because if you create the system and the reporting, when are you going to have the time to review it? That's what the meeting's for. It's for the set time to review. If you have the meeting and the reporting, how do you expect your numbers to ever go up if people don't know what to do when they're doing it? If you have the systems and the meeting, how do you know where you're at with your business? Okay, that's how you create a cadence. Your success with all this stuff is dependent upon your ability to honor your meeting time. People drift, a calendar doesn't. Your success with all of this is based on your ability to honor the meeting time, because ultimately the meeting time holds everyone accountable, including yourself, and even owners need accountability. Sometimes they need it even more. Okay, and just some success stories here. A Better Plumber, we worked with them for a very long time. When we worked with them, they went from 1.5 million to 7.2 million at a 20% net profit. They started at 5 trucks. They went to 20 trucks. You can do this. How do they do that? They obsessed on their cadence. Roger Plumbing, a gentleman we mentioned earlier. He went from 720K to 2.6 million. He's running a 26% net profit. Last month, I just checked with him. He was at 29%. He has 6 trucks. He has the 6th truck open right now, but he's able to go from 2 to 6 trucks by applying this process, building a cadence. They're able to grow way past where they were. Mike and Julie Mathis, the way that Mike Mathis says is his business is a well-oiled machine. That's when you know if you have the right cadence, if you feel like your business is a well-oiled machine. He went from 2.5 million to 5 million at a 17% net profit. Cool thing about them is they have such a good cadence and they have such good people running their business and managing their business that they just bought a second home in Florida. And literally for the past few months, him and his wife, Julie, they're there with their grandson in that picture. They've been able to spend 2 to 3 weeks per month in Florida. I literally called this guy a few weeks ago for our weekly meeting. He goes, Robert, how you doing? Good, Mike, how are you? Well, I am doing great. I am actually sitting by the pool in Florida right now while my business still runs and I'm not there. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take focus. It's going to take effort, but you can do this. It just requires building the right cadence. So what I want to do now is move to our breakout rooms. Before we do, any quick questions on that? Any comments on that?
Yeah, Robert, is that if I'm just a one-man shop, is it still valuable to have a cadence in my business? Does this matter to me?
No, it doesn't.
Good.
No, I'm just kidding. No, so I would encourage you, that is honestly one of the best times to begin to create this. The reason why is it's hard once you start bringing people on board to move them to a systems-driven process. It's a difficult thing to do. When people are used to doing things one way and then you try to make that adjustment. Furthermore, you can start small. Just start by documenting the certain activities that someone's going to have to do, like your next hire is going to have to do. You don't have to document everything at once. Just, hey, who's my next hire? What are they going to do? Start documenting that. Lastly, if what you're doing is working, start documenting it for yourself so that you yourself knows what works, what doesn't. So you yourself has a time to look at the numbers. So you yourself are looking at your own data. So there's every bit of reason to do this if you're a one-man show versus if you're anyone else. Any other questions there before we break out into breakout rooms? These breakout rooms are going to be great. We're going to actually get into where you guys may need to create a cadence in your business right now. Anything else? Okay. Well, let's, Bryce, if you want to break everyone up, thank you guys for letting me present today. It was great seeing you. Both my dad and I are going to present later this month. So we'll remind